Blanca Arellano case, the Mexican woman who disappeared in Peru, special report. Blanca Arellano case, the Mexican woman who disappeared in Peru. Blanca Arellano Gutierrez traveled to Lima on July 27 to meet with Juan Pablo Villafuerte, whom she met in the virtual game. However, on November 7, the family reported him missing. Mexican Blanca Arellano Gutierrez traveled to Lima on July 27 to meet with Juan Pablo Villafuerte, whom she met in the virtual game Fortnite. Blanca met Juan through a video game platform. They even shared related topics in a Facebook group called Retro Games, which curiously was managed by both of them. Since the beginning of the pandemic, they both had a gaming platform called Fortnite, a well-known multiplayer video game, where he was an administrator, Juan Villafuerte, and he made Blanca an administrator. This person told her that she did not have a partner and they struck up a friendship. Mercedes Gaitan, a friend of the missing foreigner, told El Comercio. Network records showed that Blanca and Juan shared moments from a distance. An example of this were their birthdays, celebrated via Facebook, where messages of encouragement were sent from each party. Now everything was going well in the relationship until November 7 when her family stopped hearing from her. Since then, she has been missing. This is what we know. After not hearing from her, Carla Arellano, Blanca's niece, contacted Villafuerte, who told her that she had left him because she couldn't give him the life she wanted and that she had left for Lima. Surprised, she insisted, because her aunt was not answering her cell phone either, to which he responded that maybe she changed the chip. Finally, he told her to leave him alone, claiming that he no longer had anything to do with her. Villafuerte, 37, rejected on his social networks having a romantic relationship with Blanca, despite the fact that there is evidence to the contrary. According to him, she was a homeless person that he helped and that she had mental problems. That's where our fear skyrocketed. My mind began to vomit thoughts. Just leave like that? Did your chip stop working? For me this didn't make any sense. My aunt would not disappear just like that, ever, and Leslie without warning. When I asked her more questions about the situation, she told me the following, said the young woman. Juan Pablo Villafuerte Pinto denies knowing anything about Blanca's disappearance and indicates that she left her side by mutual agreement. I couldn't give her the life she wanted and well, in short, she got bored of me, that's where my role ended. I hope it goes well for her, he reads in the conversation. He argues that on Sunday my aunt decided to return to Mexico. They were in Huacho and she left for Lima to later leave for Mexico, but that has not happened, added Carla. On November 9, fishermen from the port of Huacho, the same town where Blanca and Juan Pablo lived, found the head of a woman whose face was erased. Hours later, they found an arm with a ring on one of the fingers, which lacked fingerprints. A day later, at the end of an irrigation canal that flows into the sea, in that same place, a back without organs appeared. Blanca's family asked the Mexican authorities for help, who were in contact with their Peruvian counterparts to find out the news about the case. On Monday the 14th, experts determined that the ring found in the remains washed up on the beach matched one that Blanca was wearing in a photo. Blanca's family was asked to move to Peru to do a DNA test, since they could not establish the identity of the remains found for the reasons already mentioned. The woman who rents Villafuerte's room in Huacho, where she lived with Blanca, contradicted him and pointed out that, in effect, he and she had a relationship. A tour carried out by El Comercio confirmed that in front of door 1 of the Jose Faustino Sanchez Carrion National University, where Villafuerte studies human medicine, there is an irrigation canal that goes down to the beach with a strong flow, the same one where the torso was found. Without women's organs. Neighbors stated that they always throw bags there due to the flow. This place is also a few blocks from the home that the medical student occupied with Blanca. Asked about this issue, criminalistics Dr. Danny Humpire said the cuts made on the face of the skull found on the beach correspond to a person with experience using surgical instruments, since it would have been made with a thin-bladed scalpel and a lifting technique of skin. Furthermore, it is a cut without irregularities. He explained that it is evident that an attempt was made to erase the identity of the victim, but said that the perpetrator made mistakes because he did not remove the dental prosthesis, the ring and the ears, which are key to identification. Experts from the Peruvian National Police established that the ring found in the remains washed up on a beach in Huacho and the one worn by the Mexican Blanca Arellano Gutierrez before she disappeared do match. In dialogue with Canal N, the police commander, Elvis Baños Valverde, head of the DPNCRI of Huacho, explained that the images of the ring found on the body were homologated with the photos provided by a relative of the foreigner. Through a forensic digital video examination, the ring found on the victim's finger has been approved, and the approval has been made with the photos from the social networks that the niece of this Mexican citizen has provided us. The examination has been carried out correspondingly and effectively matches the ring that belongs to the person, said the officer. In addition, he announced that the skull tissues of the woman found in a beach in Huacho will be subjected to a DNA test along with the samples provided by the relatives of Blanca Arellano Gutierrez, who will arrive in the coming days. He highlighted that part of the victim's fingers were mutilated to prevent her from being identified through fingerprints. The Mexican woman's odontogram will also be compared with the false teeth found on her body. The family members will also analyze whether or not the tattoos that are located on the torso of the body are the same ones that the foreigner got years ago. Blanca's family said that they both lived in Huacho, very close to the beach. Finding herself unable to locate her niece, Carla Arellano, contacted Juan Pablo to ask him about her aunt, but he only gave incoherent answers. This raised suspicions in the family. The head of the DPNCRI of Huacho stressed that the main suspect in the crime is Juan Pablo Jesus Villafuerte Pinto, who is a student studying medicine at the Faustino Sanchez Carrion National University. The woman who rented them a room in Huacho also recognized the relationship between them. A tour carried out by El Comercio confirmed that in front of door 1 of the Jose Faustino Sanchez Carrion National University, where Villafuerte studies, there is an irrigation canal that goes down to the beach with a strong flow, the same one where the torso without organs was found. Of the woman, neighbors stated that they always throw bags there due to the flow. This place is also a few blocks from the home that the medical student occupied with Blanca. For criminology Dr. Danny Humpire, the cuts made on the face of the skull found on the beach correspond to a person with experience using surgical instruments, since they would have been made with a thin-bladed scalpel and a skin-lifting technique. Furthermore, it is a cut without irregularities. He explained that it is evident that an attempt was made to erase the victim's identity, but errors were made because he did not remove the dental prosthesis, the ring and the ears, which are key to identification. Juan Pablo not only contradicted himself on social networks, but also took advantage of his right to remain silent when he was summoned to the DPNCRI de Huacho for the disappearance of Blanca. PNP Colonel Luis Santos Villar explained that the experts established the similarity between the ring found in the remains washed up on a beach in Huacho and the one Blanca was wearing in a photo. The prosecutor's office reported that forensic medicine will carry out the necessary tests, including DNA, to determine the identity of the remains, which are presumed to correspond to a missing Mexican citizen. Given that suspicions were increasing, on Monday the 14th Villafuerte was summoned to testify at the Police Investigation Operational Center, DPNCRI. However, he took advantage of his right to remain silent and, according to witnesses, as soon as he left there he left for Lima. Even at one point during the interrogation he said that he did not know where he lived. However, the owner of the room that she rented to the subject confirmed to the police that Juan Pablo Jesus Villafuerte Pinto and Blanca Arellano Gutierrez did have a relationship, since she revealed that she found them on one occasion inside the property. On Tuesday the 15th, the authorities searched Villafuerte's home in Huacho. There they found a Mexican flag, hair and traces of blood when applying luminol. The judiciary issued a preventive detention order against Villafuerte, who is being investigated for the alleged crimes of femicide, human trafficking and organ trafficking. Blanca Arellano's case reached its final stages. The judiciary sentenced Juan Pablo Villafuerte to 35 years in prison for the feminicide of the Mexican citizen, in November 2022, in the city of Huacho, province of Jara. Through its social networks, The organization reported that the verdict was issued by the Provincial Supracollegiate Criminal Court of the Court of Hara in a judgment advance hearing. From the Huacho prison, where he was serving preventive detention for this same case, the medical student participated virtually in the hearing and listened when Judge René Alguin read his ruling. In his presentation, the magistrate determined that the crime of organ trafficking does not exist, as the prosecution charged Villafuerte. He stressed that the representative of the public ministry could not present sufficient elements of conviction regarding this, so it was dismissed. That is only a subjective assessment of the public ministry. It is true that the vital organs of that person were not found, but there is no corroboration that these organs have been trafficked or had any destination, Alguin explained. The argument for the sentence imposed by Judge Alguin falls mainly on the crime of femicide and the cruelty with which it was committed. For the ruling, it was taken into account that Villafuerte used his knowledge in human medicine to dismember the body of the 57-year-old foreigner, with whom he had a romantic relationship. The magistrate accepted the prosecutor's thesis that the accused dismembered Blanca Arellano to disappear her crime and act as if nothing had happened, in order to continue her romantic relationship with a Peruvian woman in metropolitan Lima. One of the most important clues to hand down the sentence were the foreigner's belongings, found in the room of a lodging in Huacho, where she lived with the medical student. Among the things was a Mexican flag, the victim's clothing and shoes. The stories of those close to the couple also served to corroborate that Villafuerte and Arellano had a romantic relationship. At all times, he not only denied that he committed the femicide, but also that he had a relationship with her. When he was placed under preventive detention, Villafuerte allegedly attempted feminicide. Furthermore, he had written a letter in which he claimed that he was innocent. Even if they decide to imprison me, unjustly and damage my life, I have decided, before they continue harming my family and my mother, to end my existence as a person of principles. This will be a fight that I will not be able to overcome, and I will not endure the humiliation of being paraded around like an animal, just as they are calling me, he wrote. In November 2022, Peru was shocked by the discovery of severed parts of a body that belonged to a woman in the Huacho Sea. The case went around the world and prompted national and Mexican authorities to intervene. Peruvian surfers swept the finals of the Billabong Señoritas Open Pro. Peruvian surfers swept the finals of the Billabong Señoritas Open Pro. 3 of the 4 finals were between Peruvians, in the Open QS and Pro Junior women's categories. The Billabong Señoritas Open Pro celebrated the best of South American surfing in Peru. Señoritas Beach in Punta Hermosa witnessed the performance of the best Peruvian and Brazilian exponents of the moment, in the semi-finals and finals of the World Surf League tournament, the first date of the year in the region. Peruvian Alonso Coria was crowned champion in the men's Open QS category, beating his compatriot Cristobal de Colonel. Coria was very excited when receiving the award and thanked the fans for their support. First of all, thank you to everyone who is here. They have been on the beach all day, you could hear them celebrating each wave, and thank, also, the organizers of the event, which is really bearing fruit. If you see the results of this championship, the junior women and open, women and men, were Peruvian, Coria said. In the women's Open QS category, the Peruvian Daniela Rosas established herself in first place after defeating Salguera, an opponent who gave an even battle. Rosas won the title with a wave of 8.50 points, and at the end of the heat she was lifted on the shoulders to the applause of her followers. During her award ceremony, she thanked her mother, her sponsors, and her followers for the support. Leave us your comment and subscribe to continue growing, and follow us on our social networks, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. I have been training in this wave practically all summer, starting this year by winning this event. A final against Saul, who is a super strong rival, makes me feel very good and super happy, said Rosas. Meanwhile, in the female Pro Juniors category, the Peruvian Irina Rodriguez became the youth champion of the event, after beating her compatriot Galia Gervasi, thus demonstrating the high level of the young Peruvian surfers. In this way, Rodriguez vindicated herself and managed to remove the nail of defeat, after being eliminated from the Open QS category in which she also participated. Meanwhile, The title in the men's Pro Junior category was won by Brazilian Rodrigo Saldanha after defeating his compatriot Guilherme Ferreira. The joy of his teammates was immediate and they celebrated the victory by raising their champions into the air. Moments before the finals, prominent surfers delighted us with the radical maneuvers in the expression session presented by Motorola, a demonstration that delighted the Señorita's audience and in which the Peruvian surfer Tomás Tudela won. The most exciting moment of the day came with the long-awaited awards ceremony, in which the champions and runners-up raised their trophy, to the excitement of the public that packed the beach, and thanked the organization for the excellent level of the contest. I have decided not to remain silent. Milena Warthand announces harassment on social networks. I have decided not to remain silent. Milena Warthand announces harassment on social networks. In her statement, Milena Warthand reflected on the impact of these comments, pointing out that they show an alarming social problem. Milena Warthand, the winner of the Silver Seagull at the Viña del Mar Festival 2023, has decided to raise her voice in the face of a worrying situation that she faces on her social networks: sexual harassment. The national artist used her Instagram account to make her complaint public, expressing that she has been the subject of harassment by hundreds of users through inappropriate and morbid comments. I am being harassed. For a few months now my social networks have been filled with inappropriate comments about my body. I feel over-sexualized and overwhelmed by misogynistic comments from crafty men. I have decided to take a very important step, not to remain silent, said the singer in a video that includes screenshots of some of these messages. In her statement, Milena Warthand reflected on the impact of these comments, pointing out that they show an alarming social problem. These comments reflect the normalization of lack of respect and lack of education in a society that continues to be sexist and precarious in values. Is that the society you want to live in? She questioned herself. Finally, the Warmizate interpreter called on her almost 500,000 followers on the aforementioned social network not to normalize these acts of violence. Milena Warthand, I am an Andean and I'm a woman too. Aware of the commotion that her time in Viña del Mar produced, Milena Warthand maintained that her career has been marked by being controversial since the beginning. A controversy, she stressed, that she did not seek. My lyrics talk about my own processes. I started the project when I was 17 years old. It didn't occur to me then that I want to be the example of my community. Andean pop is the label with which Milena Warthand decided to define the type of music she makes. I'm not creating a new genre, she said. I am expressing my culture and who I am, according to my reality. I am an Andean woman. I am also from Lima. I am the daughter of two parents who came to study. I have a Perumino and Ancashino roots, she highlighted. For Warthand, the Andean community is stained with stereotypes, which is why she will always defend its essence. I can be whatever I want, even more so coming from a family with Indian roots. That is the greatest message of my music, he said. What happens if Paolo doesn't show up to play at UCV? What happens if Paolo doesn't show up to play at UCV? Lawyer Juan Jose Castro explained how the case of the footballer and the Trujillo club could be resolved, which summoned him for this Tuesday the 20th. The Cesar Vallejo University club summoned Paulo Guerrero to appear this Tuesday, February 20th, at its facilities in Trujillo, despite the footballer's decision not to be part of this team's roster for 2024 and the contract that both parties signed on the 2nd of February. Juan Jose Castro, lawyer and president of the Sports Law Association of Peru, explained in Ampliación de Noticias that the club was protected by the civil code by rejecting the footballer's request to exempt the 30 days notice of resignation. What is said is that both parties have been talking by telephone about this possibility of resolving the contract by Paulo. However, we have seen that in the end Paulo sends a letter of resignation, which is very different from requesting a resolution. He is resigning from a work point of view to cut the link, but the UCV has all the power to agree not to exonerate him, he mentioned. For this reason, he maintained that, with the signed contract, there is already an employment relationship between the player and the club and added that, according to FIFA regulations, if there is a termination of the contract, it must be by mutual agreement. However, when talking about its termination, FIFA only stipulates it in two cases: debt owed to the footballer or the club stops paying, scenarios where the contract can be resolved unilaterally. UCV could fire Guerreiro. With the summons made for this Tuesday, it is the second notification from the Trujillo club to Guerreiro. Under this framework, Castro pointed out that a third would mean that the institution could fine, sanction or even fire the predator, as dictated by Peruvian legislation. Vallejo has all the power to fine him. The issue of liability, compensation is possible. There we talked about this case could reach the Chamber of Resolution and Disputes of the Federation, he explained. Regarding this, the lawyer pointed out that this instance could be reached and reviewed if the justified cause that Guerreiro alleges falls within what he qualifies as force majeure to be released from the contract, despite the fact that FIFA does not establish it in its regulation. The reality is that regardless of what the rule says, we have a player who does not want to play for a team that needs the player and does not have someone to replace him. Both are losing, he remarked. Our Miss World 2024 Lucia Arellano is already in India. Lucia Arellano, Peru's hope to obtain the third crown in Miss World 2024. Peru has the opportunity to obtain the Miss World Blue Crown for the third time with Lucia Arellano, whose appointment in July 2023 was controversial due to the complaint made by the outgoing Jen Barrantes, against the director of the franchise, Ernesto Tito Paz. However, the beauty queen from Loreto has prepared hard, and she is already beginning to attract attention since her arrival in India, headquarters of the international pageant that takes place from February 18 to March 9 in Mumbai. Who is Lucia Arellano? Lucia Michelle Arellano Mori, 28 years old, is the brand new representative of Peru in the Miss World 2024 international pageant. She was born in Iquitos, the Pearl of the Amazon. She has been playing volleyball since she was 7 years old, and at the age of 16, she was part of the national volleyball team. She studied international business at the University of Houston, Texas, United States. Since 2017, her name began to appear as a possible candidate for Miss Peru. In 2018, she was chosen Miss Loreto and participated in Miss Peru 2019, managing to enter the top 7. She was chosen Miss Intercontinental Peru 2019, but she renounced the title and did not travel to the Philippines for the pageant, being replaced by Tiffany Yogo Chong Campos, who was as fourth finalist. As a model she worked with local brands such as Infinito by Diva Rivera, and as a businesswoman she owns a nightclub, a restaurant in Iquitos and a swimwear brand. Likewise, she is an ambassador in the fight against anemia in the San Martin region and declared an illustrious guest in La Libertad, Cusco, Ucayali, Loreto and Junín among others. What is Lucia Arellano's social project? Unlike other world-class beauty pageants, such as Miss Universe, Miss World focuses its attention on the social project of its candidates. Lucia Arellano as Miss World Peru 2023 takes advantage of the platform to promote her Similitis de Belén Foundation, a charitable initiative that was born in her mind at the age of 12, when she and her best friend signed up as volunteers in the church, staying for 5 years. She then traveled to the United States to pursue her professional studies. Upon his return, he promoted his project that seeks to benefit 60 low-income children from his community in Iquitos, with the construction of a house so that the children do not have to do classes on the floor or in the chairs of the chapel. We are already in the middle of construction of the ranch house. They will deliver it to us in 2 months. Regardless of what happens at the Miss World, this project continues. Lucia Arellano. February 5, 2024. La Razón newspaper. Lucia Arellano will present her social project Similitis de Belén in the Beauty with a Purpose test of the Miss World pageant. Of the almost 100 candidates, only 12 will be selected, and among these the initiative that achieves the greatest impact in their respective countries will be chosen. How is Peru doing at Miss World 2024? On February 16, Lucia Arellano left the Jorge Chávez International Airport in Lima for India, being greeted by a crowd of people. There were even jungle dancers, and the beauty queen dared to dance with them. The most exciting journey of my life begins. Thank you to each of you for making me feel the human warmth of my Peru, in a farewell full of identity, history and traditions. Lucia Arellano. February 16, 2024. Instagram. Already installed in the Ashok Hotel, located in the capital of India, Lucia Arellano shares a room with the representative of Venezuela, Ariadne Daboin. Lucia Arellano, through her Instagram account, where she has 89.1 thousand followers, shares the activities that she has been doing at Miss World 2024. The first of them, the visit to the Mahatma Museum and Sacred Place Gandhi Memorial. I found myself feeling a special energy the moment we entered the Gandhi Monument. Lucia Arellano. February 19, 2024. Instagram. Already installed in the Ashok Hotel, located in the capital of India, Lucia Arellano shares a room with the representative of Venezuela, Ariadne Daboin. Lucia Arellano, through her Instagram account, where she has 89.1 thousand followers, she shares the activities that she has been doing at Miss World 2024. The first of them, the visit to the museum and Sacred Place Mahatma Gandhi Memorial. I found myself feeling a special energy the moment we entered the Gandhi Monument. Lucia Arellano. February 19, 2024. Instagram.
Aquí vamos, Perú, a representarlos con todo el corazón y el amor del mundo y a seguir apoyando en la página de missworld.com/Lucia Arellano Contestant y también en Mobstar a seguir votando. Un beso. Good morning, beautiful family. We have arrived to India. And look who I found, my beautiful sister from Guinea. We are already on our way to the hotel and I will be showing you how our day goes by, and I can't wait to meet all of my other sisters. Hola familia, por fin puedo aparecer por aquí para contarles de que ya estamos en nuestra habitación. Hoy día hemos tenido un día de compartir con todas las chicas, hemos podido conocerlas un poco más. Aún faltan varias candidatas por llegar, que van a estar llegando en el transcurso del día y quizá probablemente mañana ya estemos todas juntas, pero quiero comentarles que ya oficialmente sé quién me va a acompañar en este camino llamado Mi Mundo, y qué mejor que tener... ¡Ay! Yo creo que por allá salió la banderita de Venezuela.
Lucia Arellano, the great favorite of Latinas. Presentation at Miss World 2024, India. Lucia Arellano and her presentation at Miss World 2024 in India. The great favorite of Latinas. In the splendid setting of Miss World 2024 in India, the dazzling Lucia Arellano, representative of Peru, stands as the great favorite of Latinas. The opening ceremony of the prestigious pageant took place at the majestic Ashok Hotel in New Delhi, where contestants from more than 110 countries dazzled with their presence, anticipating an event full of grace and elegance. Lucia Arellano, our Peruvian beauty ambassador, captivated with her presentation, wearing a typical costume from the Amazon, which highlighted her exquisite beauty, elegance and charisma, distinctive characteristics of our Miss Peru World representative. Her walk down the catwalk was a riot of charm and distinction, leaving an indelible impression on the audience. The 2-year postponement of the Miss World election added an aura of expectation to the pageant, which returned strongly after its last edition in 2022. Initially, the United Arab Emirates had been designated as the host, but India was finally selected as the host. The decision to take the event to India, a country rich in history and culture, further enhances the importance and prestige of this competition. With a long tradition of promoting charitable causes and empowering women, Miss World continues to be a beacon of inspiration and change in the world.
Hello world, Namaste India. I am Lucia Arellano and I proudly represent the land of the Incas and the amazing Amazon River, Peru!
From the host country of the 70th Miss World, please welcome Puerto Rico.
The last time India hosted this contest was in 1996, when Greece's representative Irene Skliva was crowned the winner, beating Colombia's Carolina Arango. This pageant, which began in 1951 in London, is the oldest international beauty pageant in the world, promotes charitable causes and empowers women. India, along with Venezuela, has been home to this event on multiple occasions, crowning outstanding women who have left an indelible mark on the history of the pageant and beyond. In this magnificent setting, Lucia Arellano shines with her own light, representing the best of the beauty and social commitment of our country. Historical. Luz Mary Rojas qualified for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Historical. Luz Mary Rojas qualified for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. The Peruvian athlete qualified for Paris 2024 after achieving a time of 2 hours 26 minutes 47 seconds in the Seville Marathon. It's unstoppable. The national athlete Luz Mary Rojas, a member of the National Marathon Program, PNM, of the Peruvian Sports Institute, IPD, qualified for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, after achieving a time of 2 hours 26 minutes 47 seconds in the Seville Marathon. The 30-year-old athlete finished the competition in 20th place in the women's category and surpassed the minimum mark required, 2:26 and 50 seconds, by World Athletics, with which she will make her official debut in an Olympic event. In this way, she becomes the fourth representative of national athletics to secure her place in the world's largest multi-sport event, after Gladys Tejeda, Giovanna de la Cruz and Cristian Pacheco, who qualified for her in the 2023 Seville Marathon. In the female category, the winner was Esmer Gebro from Ethiopia, 2:22 and 13 seconds, and in the male category, her compatriot Duressa Gelita, 2:03 and 27 seconds. Other Peruvians who finished the competition were, Wiley Conchagna, 2:14 and 29 seconds, Franklin Jimenez, 2:38 and 54 seconds, Ferdinand Pacheco, 2:47 and 2 seconds, Omar Paredes, 2:37 and 57 seconds, and Zeta Ramos, 2:29 and 49 seconds. How many Peruvian athletes have secured their place in the Olympic Games? With the classification of Luz Mary Rojas to Paris 2024, there are now 13 Peruvian athletes who have secured a place in the international sports event. The other classifieds are Daniela Borda, sports shooting, skeet. Nicolás Pacheco, sports shooting, skeet. Stefano Peschiera, sailing, ILCA 7. Mary Luz Angia, athletic walking 20 kilometers. Cesar Rodriguez, athletic walk 20 kilometers. Lucas Messinas, surfing, shortboard. Evelyn Inga, athletic walking 20 kilometers. Kimberly Garcia, athletic walk 20 kilometers. Christian Pacheco, marathon. Gladys Tejeda, marathon. Ines Castillo, badminton. Florence Chiarella, sailing, ILCA 6. The Paulo Guerrero novel is over. Tomorrow I would be traveling to Trujillo, UCV. The Paulo Guerrero novel is over. Tomorrow I would be traveling to Trujillo, UCV. He will fulfill his contract. Paulo Guerrero will play for Cesar Vallejo this season. Paulo Guerrero arrived in Lima to resolve his contract with Cesar Vallejo, otherwise he would have to pay compensation to the UCV. Paulo Guerrero's arrival at Jorge Chávez International Airport was bumpy. He did it with his partner, Ana Paula Consorte, and then spoke briefly with the local press. There, he was consulted regarding the meeting that he will have with the president of the Cesar Vallejo University, Richard Acuna. I don't have a definition. I come to talk. There is a meeting with Acuna. "We have to talk first," Guerrero said. Paolo Guerrero, face-to-face with Cesar Vallejo. Minutes before, at the air terminal, the popular Predator surprised the fans who arrived at the place. As he approached, greeted them and signed some t-shirts. Subsequently, he got into a black car that was waiting for him at the door and headed towards his apartment. It is expected that he will meet with the president of the UCV to reach an agreement on the request for termination of the footballer's contract. After several meetings between Paolo Guerrero and the Cesar Vallejo University, finally the national attacker will fulfill his contract and will play in Liga 1 Apuesta 2024 with the Poeta team. It was confirmed that both parties reached a consensus for the 40-year-old forward to wear orange and blue this season. In this way, the national player will play in the first division of Peruvian soccer for the first time. As it is remembered, Paolo Guerrero arrived in our country, from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to meet with the president of the UCV, Richard Acuna, and reach an agreement regarding his request to terminate his contract. "I have a definition. I come to talk. There is a meeting with Richard Acuna. It's not about that, about traveling to Trujillo. I've come to talk first," said the attacker for Latina as soon as he stepped onto national soil. Alianza Lima in #Universitario will play without an audience, a harsh punishment for League One. Alianza Lima and Universitario will play without an audience, a harsh punishment for League One. Alianza Lima and Universitario will play without an audience in their popular stands, the harsh punishment for League One for the shooting in Santa Anita. Premier Alberto Otarola announced the drastic measure after the meeting held today in the palace. All this as a result of the confrontation between bars last Saturday, February 17. On Tuesday, February 20, Alberto Otarola, President of the Council of Ministers of Peru, revealed the punishment against Alianza Lima and Universitario as a result of the shooting between baristas in Santa Anita days ago. The compadres will play without an audience in their popular stands in their next home games for League One 2024. This morning a meeting was held in the palace, where members of the Peruvian Football Federation, FPF, and representatives of the Merengue Club, but not those of its classic rival, approached, with the aim of reaching a consensus with the authorities. After the confrontation between criminals on Saturday, February 17, which left 4 injured, including 2 minors, Premier Otarola specifically pointed out the matches in which the bars will not be able to attend. The south stand of the Iván Elias Moreno Stadium in Villa El Salvador will be closed for the blue and white clash against Comerciantes Unidos this Sunday, February 25, valid for the 5th day. As for the their duel against Sport 1 Cayo for date 6 of the domestic competition, which will take place on Friday, March 1, will not have a crowded setting, because the north stand of the Monumental de 8 Stadium will not have the presence of fans. With this we want to send a very important message to the football clubs: we all have to take responsibility. The fact that there are 2 children injured by gunshots leads us to make these types of decisions that do not seek for the clubs to go bankrupt, said Alberto Otarola. After announcing the measure, Universitario and Alianza Lima, clearly, will be economically affected by not receiving the box office from their popular stands. However, it was a measure that was urgently needed to combat different types of violence and that could set a precedent in Peruvian football. Dina Boluarte left a strong message after closing the popular stands of Alianza and Universitario. It should be noted that this is the first measure to stop violence in football. This was announced by Jean Ferrari, administrator of the Cream Club, at a press conference. Something that was ratified by President Dina Boluarte, who assured that the punishments will be more severe as this type of incidents are repeated. Yesterday we announced that it was being evaluated that the next meeting be held behind closed doors without an audience. If these criminal actions continue, we would take more drastic measures, and we do not want to be drastic with Peruvian soccer, said the president. Confrontation between bars left 2 children injured. The closure of the popular stands in the upcoming home games of Alianza Lima and Universitario was caused by the shooting between baristas from both clubs that occurred last Saturday in the district of Santa Anita that left 4 injured, including 2 minors. What is the health status of the injured? The 11-year-old boy is in the Ippolito Unanue Hospital and his prognosis remains in critical expectation, since the bullet that hit him is lodged in his chest. While the 12-year-old is under observation, since the projectile fell on his head. Knowing his neurological status is not yet possible, but his vital functions are stable. Day 3, Lucia Arellano, Beauty with Purpose Presentation Miss World 2024, India. Lucia Arellano presented Beauty with a Purpose Similitis Debelin at Miss World 2024, India. Lucia Arellano, the representative of Peru in the Miss World 2024 pageant held in India, heads the ranking of favorites according to Sash Factor International, a global benchmark in beauty pageant coverage. Her outstanding performance in the Beauty with a Purpose Forum has captured the attention of the jury and the public. At this event, Arellano presented the work carried out by her foundation Similitis Debelin, which provides education, nutritional support and spaces for emotional development to children in vulnerable situations. In this presentation 117 women from around the world shared the most inspiring stories and dreams. Lucia Arellano tells us, "We present to the world at Similitis Debelin, the most special social project of my life because I believe in a world full of opportunities. We tried to find a way to take my children from diaresis Similitis Debelin with me in my dress as a way to share a message of power and hope, and we wish to leave a mark on the world for generations to come. Thank you." Once again, the most outstanding of the day is our beautiful Lucia Arellano, giving beauty and elegance from India. For the presentation of Lucia Arellano, from her purpose-driven beauty project, she wore a light blue princess cut dress, which had the printed hands of the children from the Belén neighborhood, one of the extreme poverty areas of Iquitos. Miss Peru World develops her foundation Similitis Debelin there. And it was the designer Jose Safra who made this magnificent creation, and Lucia Arellano stood out in the filming of the explanation in the presentation video, which, together with the one that had been sent about the project, will be evaluated by a specialized jury in social aid actions. Be careful with the dress that Lucia Arellano presented. It is not just any dress, it is a dress with history, work, dedication and above all full of hope, love, gratitude and that is little seeds of Bethlehem. The creative hands of the children of Belén leave their mark, reflecting joy, dreams and illusions in various colors applied to the skirt. This social project led by Lucia Arellano fuses the elegance of design with the nobility of supporting communities in need. Each footprint tells a story of hope and opportunity. Our Peruvian representative proudly raises the name of Peru after her moving social presentation. Up Peru! Day 4 Lucia Arellano Athletic Victory. In the Sports Challenge Beep Test Team America and more. Day 3 Athletic Victory. Peru excels in the sports competition and secures its place in the final of Miss World 2023 to 2024. Lucia Arellano, the distinguished representative as Miss Peru World 2023, led her team to victory in the sports challenge known as El Sports Challenge Beep Test Team America. In this event, Peru continued to stand out in the Miss World 2023 competition by achieving victory in the Sport Challenge, specifically in the Americas group. This achievement not only highlights the beauty and elegance of Lucia Arellano, but also her skills and determination in the sporting field. With her outstanding participation, Lucia Arellano not only demonstrated her outstanding qualities on the catwalk, but also in the sports event, showing an impressive balance between grace and physical performance. Her effective leadership was evident in leading her team to victory, thus ensuring her passage to the next round in this demanding Miss World 2023 competition. This achievement is not only cause for celebration for Lucia Arellano, but also for her Team Verde colleagues, who surely recognize and appreciate the valuable contribution of their outstanding representative. Lucia Arellano, with her grace, skill and leadership, has raised the name of Peru in the sports field of the prestigious pageant, leaving an indelible mark on the Miss World 2023 competition. Lucia Arellano thanks Miss World for allowing her to spread the message about the importance of leading a healthy lifestyle. Through sports, she has gained the confidence to believe that she can turn all of her dreams into reality. In this process, essential values such as confidence, determination and discipline have been strengthened. Also on the fourth day at Miss World, she visited Helsinki Pachila, a school that offers remedial classes once a week to children in Delhi who lack access to education. However, for these children, school represents an opportunity to build a more promising future. Numerous success stories were heard narrating how the students of this institution completed their education and, now working at Helsinki Pachila, strive to ensure that future generations pursue their dreams. Gratitude was expressed to at Miss World for providing a day full of inspiration. Lucia Arellano and the outfits that she has worn in the first days of Miss World 2024. Lucia Arellano and the outfits she has worn in the first days of Miss World 2023 to 2024. Lucia Arellano is preparing to represent Peru in the next edition of Miss World. The contest, which crowned Madhya Mantilla 20 years ago, takes place in India from Saturday, February 17 to Saturday, March 9. Lucia Arellano, the representative of Peru in the Miss World 2024 pageant held in India, heads the ranking of favorites according to Sash Factor International, a global benchmark in beauty pageant coverage. Her outstanding performance in the Beauty with a Purpose Forum has captured the attention of the jury and the public. At this event, Ella Arellano presented the work carried out by her foundation Similitas de Belén, which provides education, nutritional support and spaces for emotional development to children in vulnerable situations. Since the beginning of the contest, Arellano has stood out for her participation in various events. At the welcome ceremony, she received a unique ovation for her clothing inspired by the Peruvian Amazon, a sign of her immediate impact on the pageant. Later, she was among the 3 best dressed at the gala dinner. For this occasion, she wore a design by Jose Maria Almeida inspired by Hindu culture, thus consolidating her presence as a strong contender in the contest. Arellano has not only managed to stand out for her clothing and bearing in the events prior to the final gala, which has placed her as one of the favorites to be crowned the winner. The 71st edition of Miss World has the participation of more than 100 candidates from various countries, and the final will take place on March 9 at the Geo World Convention Center in Mumbai. Amazon-inspired outfit. During the welcome ceremony of Miss World 2024, the representative of Peru, Lucia Arellano, impressed the attendees in India with her presentation. At the event held in New Delhi, India, the Peruvian wore a suit inspired by the Peruvian Amazon. Cocktail dinner. On her third day in India, Miss Peru World wore an impressive long red dress, which was accompanied with a white shawl. Today we had an incredible night at our cocktail dinner. Our dress is inspired by our Peruvian flag, Lucia Arellano noted on Instagram. Gala dinner. Lucia Arellano stood out among the 3 best dressed during the Miss World 2024 gala dinner, wearing a Jose Maria Almeida suit in yellow and green tones inspired by Hindu culture. Our Miss Peru World wanted to pay tribute to a country that has received us incredibly and that has an incredible culture and history, the designer wrote on Instagram. Tribute to the children of Bethlehem. The Peruvian wore a light blue princess cut dress made by designer Jose Safra, which shows off the printed hands of the children of the Belén neighborhood, one of the extreme poverty areas of Iquitos. Miss Peru World develops her foundation Similitas de Belén there. The creative hands of the children of Belén leave their mark, reflecting joy, dreams and illusions in various colors applied to the skirt. This social project led by Lucia Arellano fuses the elegance of design with the nobility of supporting communities in need. Every footprint tells a story of hope and opportunities, Safra wrote on Instagram. Who is Lucia Arellano? Lucia Arellano is preparing to carry the Peruvian flag at Miss World, an event that will take place from February 17 to March 9 in India. Arellano, 28 years old and originally from Iquitos, has not only stood out for her career on the catwalks, but also for her impact in the social and business sphere. Her academic preparation in international business, completed in Houston, complements her multifaceted profile. Arellano's transition from the volleyball courts to the international runways reflects a story of significant personal and professional change. Her beginnings in the sport representing Loreto opened the doors to new opportunities that eventually led her to participate in beauty competitions. She had never spoken in public or worn heels, Arellano shared, highlighting the radical change in her career after graduating. Her commitment to social causes, such as her work against cancer in collaboration with INAN, as well as her promotion of national tourism, highlight her commitment beyond beauty. Throughout her career, Arellano has received numerous recognitions, including the distinction as Ambassador of the Fight Against Anemia in San Martin and illustrious guest in various regions of Peru. Her crown as Miss Peru World came after the dismissal of Jennifer Barrantes, a situation that raised various opinions among the public and on digital platforms. Paolo Guerrero finally training in Trujillo. Paolo Guerrero trained for the first time in Trujillo with his teammates from Cesar Vallejo, and Roberto Mosquera welcomes Paolo and is fit. Paolo Guerrero arrived at Villa Poeta and trained for the first time with the Cesar Vallejo University. He dressed short in record time. Peruvian striker Paolo Guerrero trained for the first time as a player at the Cesar Vallejo University. RPP Deportes had access to the practices carried out by the Trujillo team this afternoon at the Villa Poeta, where the team led by Roberto Mosquera, in full, carried out work with and without the ball. One of the main protagonists was the popular Predator, who was seen, at first, doing small jobs, and then joining up with his other teammates and doing touches with the ball. Afterwards, the former Flamengo and Corinthians player practiced definitions. In fact, he scored a goal in training, showing that he is at a good physical level. Paolo Guerrero is in a good physical level. On the other hand, the UCV coach, Roberto Mosquera, indicated that they will not rush Paolo Guerrero, and when he is fit he will have minutes. We are going to evaluate him physically, and then, when he is well, we are going to use him. We are not going to rush it, we have to put it in conditions. He is a technical prodigy, he said at first. Age is something relative. I see Paolo and it's as if he were 20 years old. He is current. He has just had a fantastic campaign. I don't see him much because of his age. I see him because of the experience he has and because he is determined to play for Peru. The best thing that is happening is that he can play in his country, added the strategist. Then, he asserted that the arrival of Paolo Guerrero will not only be beneficial for Cesar Vallejo, but also for the Peruvian national team. I think so. There is a double discourse, and a good discourse that means that Paolo does not have to make the trips he had to make. Here he is now an hour from Lima. Professor Jorge Fossati, whom I respect, he has him close, and here we are going to take care of him so that he not only performs here, but that every time he goes to the national team he does what he has been doing, he concluded. Roberto Mosquera welcomes Paolo Guerrero, he is excited. The coach of the Cesar Vallejo University, Roberto Mosquera, confirmed that he will have a meeting with Paolo Guerrero to let him know the club's objective this season. National forward Paolo Guerrero arrived in Trujillo to enroll in the work of the Cesar Vallejo University. Prior to the first team's training at Villa Poeta, the coach of the Trujillo team, Roberto Mosquera, spoke exclusively to Football Como Campo de RPP and indicated that the arrival of the Predator will not only be beneficial for the Poeta team, but also for the Peruvian national team. Thank you for coming to be interested in Vallejo and the new reality we are experiencing, the coach said at first. I think so. There is a double speech, and a good speech that means that Paolo does not have to make the trips that he had to make. Here it is now an hour from Lima. Professor Jorge Fossati, whom I respect, has him close, and here we are going to take care of him so that he not only performs here, but that every time he goes to the national team he does what he has been doing, he added. Then, He indicated that he will meet with the forward in the next few hours to let him know the club's objectives and the plans he has for this season. After a long time he has not been in Peru. It is the first time, his first experience of playing in Peru. He is excited. Today I am going to talk to him later. We met for an hour to talk about the conductive mercy of the team, the rules of coexistence that are important, the objective we have this year and what type of squad we have, he concluded. After medical examinations, Paulo Guerrero added his second training session with Cesar Vallejo. With health and determination, was Cesar Vallejo's message about Paulo Guerrero's medical examinations. This Friday, Paulo Guerrero carried out his second training session with his teammates from Cesar Vallejo, who is getting ready to face Deportivo Garcilaso, in Cusco, for Date 5 of League 1 Apuesta. The Predator will not be summoned for this commitment, as he is not yet in his best physical condition. Prior to the physical work in the Poet Village, Guerrero underwent the required medical examinations. The true evaluation, with health and determination. Our poet, following the protocol, underwent medical examinations, making sure that everything was going well, Vallejo wrote on his X account, X-Twitter, accompanied by photos of Guerrero. Let us remember that Guerrero did not have a preseason this year and that he has not played since December 17, 2023. On that date he played with LDU in the second final against Independiente del Valle in the Ecuadorian League. When will Paulo Guerrero debut? If there are no problems, the 40-year-old forward's debut will be when Cesar Vallejo hosts Cusco FC on Saturday, March 2, at the Mansach Stadium in Trujillo. Our poet, following protocol, underwent medical examinations, making sure that everything is going well. Roberto Mosquera on Paulo Guerrero. It's a beautiful reality. I think there is a double discourse there and a good discourse that means that Paulo does not have to make the trips he had to make. Fossati, whom I respect, has him close. Here we go to take care of him, not only so that he performs here, but also in the national team, said Roberto Mosquera when Guerrero's presence was confirmed. Cesar Vallejo resolved his disagreements with Guerrero so that the nine plays for the first time in Peruvian football, now who from the age of 18 developed his professional career in teams from Germany, Brazil, Argentina, and Ecuador. PNP captured the extortionists of Paulo Guerrero's family in Trujillo. PNP captured the extortionists of Paulo Guerrero's family in Trujillo. The National Police of Peru arrested Los Cachacos de Yolán, the gang of criminals that during the week sent intimidating messages to the mother of the Cesar Vallejo University forward. Paulo Guerrero came out in recent days to report that his mother Petronila Gonzalez, Mrs. Pita, was receiving threatening messages. For that reason, the athlete who had just been announced as a new member of the Cesar Vallejo University, refused to play for the Poets shirt. After many twists and turns, the Predator reached an agreement to stay in the club and reassuring news came for his family and for the forward, since the National Police of Peru, PNP, captured Los Cachacos de Yolán, the criminal gang that was behind the extortions and is also related to Los Pulpos de Trujillo. In statements to Canal N, the general commander of the PNP, Victor Zanabria, explained that this criminal group was captured in flagrante delicto, on February 19, when they collected money from a family in the district of El Porvenir. During the investigations, they found the cell phone chip of one of them that was linked to the blackmail messages to Guerrero's mother. The authority mentioned that 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman, from this gang have been arrested. The men received preventive detention for 9 months and were already sent to prison, while the other member received an appearance. According to the aforementioned media outlet, the extortionists were identified as Edwin Cabezon Moya Salazar, 36, Diego Fernando Mendoza Alvarado, 22, Orejón, and Geraldine Brigitte Chunga Timoteo, alias China, 22. Likewise, the PNP reported that investigations will continue to find out if these criminals are associated with more extortions in Trujillo, which was declared in a state of emergency, due to the wave of crime in recent months. PNP shares images when extortionists are captured. Through the social network X, the National Police of Peru, PNP, published a video showing the arrest of these people. Richard Acuna will offer security to Paulo Guerrero and his family. In conversation with the president of the university Cesar Vallejo, he indicated that he will seek the players' comfort during his stay in Trujillo. Furthermore, he mentioned that he understands the Predators' concern for his family. Paolo Guerrero arrived determined to join Cesar Vallejo's team. Obviously he was clearly concerned like any son about the unfortunate threats that his mother and his family received. That is why the meetings focused on ensuring the safety of him and his family, he explained. In the same way, he added that there is security work for him and for the team players. We have not left this framework as an institution, because we know what the sporting interests and objectives are. In addition, he highlighted the importance of offering well-being to Paolo Guerrero and his surroundings in Trujillo, with the aim that he can fully focus on football. He mentioned that the presence of a striker on the national soccer scene every weekend represents a source of pride and joy for sports followers. Acuna confessed that he met Doña Pita, the attacker's mother. For me it has been an honor to meet Paolo's family. I already had the honor of meeting the lady, very dear to all Peruvians. It was a friendly and quite positive relationship, he explained. It is important to mention that the player was placed under the orders of Roberto Mosquera in the club's training sessions last Thursday, and this Friday he successfully passed the medical examinations. Now, he will continue to strive to make his debut in League One. Day 5, Lucia Arellano Miss Peru continues in the fight. -5 classified to the top 40 Miss World 2024. These are the first 5 classified to the top 40 of Miss World. For its part, and after carrying out the first challenges of the 71st edition of the most important beauty pageant in the world, the Miss World 2024 from the city of Mumbai, in India, we were already able to meet the first 5 girls who participated. They went straight to the top 40 on the final night. This is how, after the head-to-head challenge was carried out, we first met the 25 girls who moved on to the final round, thus leaving 5 winners who automatically become part of the final top. Likewise, the first classified were Miss England, Jessica Gage; Miss Lebanon, Yasmina Saitoun; Miss Zimbabwe, Nokatinda Shekina Maramwa; Miss Botswana, Leseho Chambo; Miss Nigeria, Ada M. The new Miss World 2024 will be crowned on March 9, 2024 at the Geo World Convention Center in Mumbai, India, where Miss World 2022 Karolina Bielawska of Poland will crown her successor at the end of the event. The event will be broadcast live on Sana Live India starting at 7:30 p.m. local time. Lucia Arellano participates in the Miss World 2024 Gala Cocktail. Lucia Arellano participates in the Miss World 2024 Gala Cocktail. Lucia Arellano participates in the Gala Cocktail Party, where she was able to meet Julia Morley CBE, President and Executive Director of the Miss World organization of All of Us at Miss World. In 1972, Julia launched Beauty with a Purpose as her vision for young women to use their talents to help those less fortunate than themselves. More than 50 years later, the Beauty with a Purpose program is now present in 142 countries and has had a significant impact on improving the lives of the sick and disadvantaged. In June 2022, during the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Honours List, Julia was appointed a Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE, in recognition of her charitable and voluntary services to disadvantaged people in the United Kingdom and throughout the world. Lucia Arellano had the most emotional and profound moments when meeting and hugging Julia, a woman who inspires her because of her strength, humility and human warmth. Lucia Arellano said, "Dear Julia, thank you for being an example of an unconditional vocation to service, and of a life dedicated to giving opportunities to those who need it most, always from the most real and genuine love that exists. Thank you for showing how powerful women can be. Thank you for being this beautiful. The world needs more human beings like you. I thank God for having come this far and being part of this incredible Miss World 2024. Day 6, Lucia Arellano placed 3rd in the Miss World Sport Challenge competition. 6. Lucia Arellano placed 3rd in the Miss World Sport Challenge competition. With great enthusiasm, Peru celebrates the outstanding participation of our representative, Lucia Arellano, in the prestigious Miss World pageant. The talented Miss Peru has left her mark by securing her place on the Sports Challenge podium, achieving an outstanding third position in this exciting sports competition. Her dazzling presence and sporting abilities positioned her as an exemplary queen, representing with grace and skill the beauty and athletic spirit of our country on the world stage. Lucia Arellano, a true Peruvian pride.
Third place, Peru. Third place, Peru.
That was a pass.
We should have that. That was really good. Come on.
Congratulations, lady. Here are the top 3 in the whole world for the sports challenge.
I feel overjoyed. I'm sharing this moment with these beautiful ladies. I think we're doing an amazing job at the sports days. And the most important is we had fun.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you.